Ayo YouTube, Flowcat here. It is time for How Do I Xingqiu. Before we jump into that, just a quick disclaimer, which I'm going to speed up slightly. It's going to sound funny. In this series, we will be analyzing each unit's kit and discussing how I utilize them in-game. I will discuss how I build them, what teams I like for them, and mechanics that I find useful or interesting. I'm not telling you that this is the best or optimal way to play each unit. I'm not telling you that you should do what I do. This is simply what I do, and I am sharing it in hopes that you find it useful, interesting, or entertaining. Keep that in mind for your response down in the comment section below, and as always, stay respectful. Thanks. First, we're going to analyze his skills, and then we'll talk about what role he plays in your team. First, his auto attack sequence says it has 5 strikes, but it actually totals up to 7 hits. The 3rd and 5th hit strike twice. His charge attack will consume stamina and perform 2 rapid strikes, and also look very cool. His E will cause him to perform 2 strikes, dealing hydro damage to the enemy. Then, rain swords will spawn around your character. Touching enemies with the rain swords will transfer the wet status to them, and they also provide damage reduction and interruption resistance. When you take damage, one sword will shatter until none remain or the timer expires. This provides a considerable amount of energy and has a 15-second duration and a 21-second cooldown. His Q will summon the maximum number of rain swords, and when your on-field unit initiates a normal attack, hydro swords will spawn above your head and attack the enemy. This burst has a 15-second duration, a 20-second cooldown, and an 80 energy cost. His passive talents are straightforward. One will give you healing when a sword shatters or when the timer expires on your skills, and one provides him a 20% hydro damage bonus. Based on his skills, it is clear to me that he is primarily built as a sub DPS. His skills primarily do damage, and his burst allows him to deal a considerable amount of damage off field, as well as enable reactions for your team. He secondarily plays the role of a support, providing your team a small amount of healing, some damage reduction, and resistance interruption as well. Now we're going to look at my Xingqiu. He's level 75 out of 80. I have not max ascended him yet, and his stats suck, but here they are. I have his talents at 2, 11, 11, and I'm running him on a sacrificial sword. If you don't have sac sword, I would recommend running him on Favonius, or maybe even Skyward Blade. I've not tested out whether Xingqiu still needs an ER weapon with Raiden, but if he doesn't, then you could use something more damage oriented like a Jade Cutter or a Mist Splitter. I'm running my Xingqiu on a 4-piece emblem set. Other options for him are a 4-piece Noblesse, or a 2-piece Noblesse, 2-piece Heart of Depth, if you're still working on a 4-piece set for him. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my Xingqiu. Let's jump into the team building section. Alright, so Xingqiu is a sub DPS, and that's how I'm going to be showing him in every single team. First up is Chongyun, Diona, Xingqiu, and Hu Tao. I actually ran this team with my Hu Tao for the longest time. C2 Chongyun is really good for speeding up rotations. Diona provides shield and healing when you need it. Xingqiu obviously enables the vape reactions for Hu Tao. And in this specific comp, I'm running my Diona on an Elegy bow because the buff is pretty dang useful. Let me get into this very quick showcase. Next up, we have a Sucrose Taser comp. I have Jean, Xingqiu, Fischl, and Sucrose. The idea behind this comp is just to keep Xingqiu's ult and Fischl's Oz up as much as possible and auto attack with Sucrose to swirl and tase the enemies. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one. And finally, another vape comp, we have Albedo, Zhongli, Xingqiu, and Yoimiya. Albedo and Zhongli provide georesonance as well as protection and damage added on to Yoimiya's strikes. Xingqiu enables the vape reactions for my Yoimiya. Let's get into this showcase.
Mihoyo, Genshin, Sake. Kenyo banjak, Tendo, ここにある。雨描きがたし。歌よ錦と花火に。やっやっ。おっと。
Alright, and we're back from the team showcases. I actually have almost no mechanics to share for you for Xingqiu. He's extremely simple. You can see during the rotations that I do EQE, because if you do the E and Q right after, then you can capture the orbs and still generate the energy, which allows him to do his stuff with taking less field time. But I'm pretty sure many people know to do EQE if you have Sack Sword on him. And now we're going to move into his Constellations. C1 increases his number of rain swords by 1. C2 extends the duration of his ult by 3 seconds and reduces the hydro resistance of enemies hit by his rain swords by 15% for 4 seconds. His C4 allows his second E after his ult to deal 50% more damage. This is multiplicative. His C6 is worded poorly, but it basically means that he will spawn more rain swords on his last attack, and it will also generate energy for him. Really, I would say that C2 is one of his best constellations other than his C6. They don't really change his kit much at all, which is kind of nice because at C0, he still functions as like the same exact unit. All his constellations do is improve his effectiveness and increase his damage. But yeah, that's gonna bring us to the end of this Xingqiu video. He's so straightforward, but an incredibly powerful unit. He's great in many teams. If you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much. Include Purple Potato in your comment down below. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and hey, I've got a Discord server. I think you should probably join there. There's a lot of friendly people doing things. And as always, stay healthy, stay hydrated, peace.